And I would just like to say welcome to everyone and thank you for joining us this evening or day or afternoon, wherever you are joining. I hope you are as excited as I am to spend some time with our guest presenter today. Many of you may know Annekee and many of you may not, although I believe many of you do. Uh, what's great here about being in this guest presentation for Healing Awareness Week is we're using this opportunity this week to make sure that we are highlighting healing and wellness and helping us to become more aware of connecting to this power of healing. This evening, we are working with an absent healing workshop. For many of you may already be aware, Annekee is the online healing trainer with the Spiritualist National Union and is also a certificate holder in healing of the Spiritualist National Union. There are probably many other things we can say, but I will let Annekee do those words for herself as we move over and now present to you your lovely presenter this evening, Annekee.
Thank you so much, Daniel, and a very warm welcome, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, friends from all over the world. And I'm so happy that you are here. At the moment, we're with 39 people in the room, and this gives me much joy because it means that there's so many people interested in healing mediumship. And this Healing Awareness Week made possible by the SNUi and Daniel hosting, gives me such a warm feeling that we are all here for healing and to move forward healing mediumship in this world. So thank you, SNUi, for making this possible. Thank you, Daniel, for hosting and for being here. So we're going to do a workshop. I have a little bit of educational stuff, a PowerPoint, because I want you to learn a little bit about healing. It is maybe something that you already know, because you're already on your pathway of healing mediumship. Maybe everything is new for you and you cannot really follow it because I go a bit too quickly. But you know, we're all on a different path, on a different spot on our pathway of healing mediumship, and probably we are with many mixed levels here tonight. So just listen with an open mind and try to follow and just have the experience of the energies and feel what is happening when we do the attunement exercises. And yeah, be here with an open mind. And please also don't compare yourself with somebody else. If there is a feedback and you think, oh my goodness, I didn't feel that, or this is new to me, should I have felt this also? No, probably not, because this is your experience and this is your workshop. So just be happy and follow and be here with an open mind. So today we're going to talk about absent healing, and with absent healing mediumship, the healing medium is really privileged to work with the divine healing energies, and like other forms of healing mediumship, contact healing, distant healing, we work with this power of the divine. And this makes it for us, the healing mediums, so amazing and so marvelous to be in the presence of these divine energies and to work with our guides and spirit helpers to do it together as a team. So everybody, a warm welcome, and let's then just start the PowerPoint and see if that works. I hope everybody can see this. Probably yes. So before I'm going to talk about absent healing, I need very quick to explain what spiritualist healing mediumship is. Because if you don't know how it works, absent healing might be a bit too quick to start the subject with. So the job of the spiritualist healing medium is to be an open channel for the healing energies. And I always like to start with saying, I am not a healer and I do not heal. I am the healing medium or the vessel or the in-between, whatever you would like to call it. And the healing energies, they come from the divine, from the God force. And it is with the help of the spirit world that they are directed through us, the healing mediums, through our attunement, which is passive, to the patient. So we work with the divine energies that come from God. And it is really the power of God that is the source of all the healing. We know and recognize that God is eternal and constant and unaffected by time and space and circumstances. And it is this absolute power that is within us all, within our cells, within our blood. And this energy gives us life, and this energy heals, and this energy gives upliftment. So this is the power that we work with. This is the energy that we work with. And it is the spirit world that is doing all the work for us. They take this pure and loving energy and they adjust it and make it personal. They diagnose and scan the patient and see what is needed for the body, maybe the mind, or even the soul or the spirit of the patient. And they are so loving and so intelligent, and they really know what is needed. They make it personal and they make it fit. So it is with the help of our guides, our friends in spirit, that healing energies that come from the divine are adjusted, and then they are directed through us, the attuned passive healing medium, to the patient. So this is basically very shortly put how it works. It comes from the divine. The spirit world adjusts, makes it personal. Then it is directed through us, the healing mediums, and it goes to the patient. And it is thanks to all this link that we have with, on one side, the patient, and the other side, the healing energies and the spirit world, that the healing energies can be brought to earth. It is us who are needed. Without us, it is difficult. So the energies always come from the God force, and this is always how it works. But there are several forms of healing mediumship that we can practice. We have contact healing, we have distant healing, we have self-healing, also really important. And then we have absent healing. And today we're going to talk about absent healing. So let's move to the next slide. So absent healing, let me explain very shortly what it is. Absent healing is spiritualist healing mediumship, where the energies are directed by the power of thought and the power of prayer to a person who is not physically present in your room, but also not live online on Zoom or on Skype. So it can be somebody who is in another house in your street, but can also somebody who is in China or in America or somewhere very far away. So the patient and the medium are not in the same place. And the spirit world knows everything that the patient needs. Spirit world, like I already explained, is involved. They know the patient, they know what is needed, and they take the energies, they adjust it, they modify it, and like I said, they make it personal. And behind all of this is God, the intelligence of the healing energies. And it is this form of healing that combines the power of thought and prayer to bring the energies to any place on earth where it is needed. And how do we do this? Well, basically, very shortly explained, we start always with pacifying our mind, making our mind calm and making sure that we are relaxed, that all the daily worries and the thoughts that we had, arguments or things that we need to do, are out of our mind. So we need to be calm and relaxed and still in our mind. And then we start with a prayer. And with the prayer, we set our intention, and it's also an invocation of the power to bring the power of the divine, of God, in our work. Secondly, we focus on our spirit, the non-physical part in us. We become aware of our spirit self, and we feel this quickening in our energy. And this form of attunement for healing mediumship is not the same as the attunement that platform mediums of evidential mediums do, because that is an active form of attunement, and we have a passive form of attunement. So we feel this quickening and this focus on our non-physical part, and we raise our frequency, and then we blend with the divine energies and with the power of God. And this is the point that we invite our guides, our healing helpers, to join us. And we allow this energy to build in a very powerful and expansive field of energy. And when that is all said and done, then we invite, we attune to the spirit, and we place the patient into this field of love and healing energies. So we have a very powerful energy field that we can work with, but it needs to be done correctly. I would like to say to you that everything is possible with absent healing, but we cannot go past the natural law. When somebody is going to pass away to the spirit world, when somebody is really ill, we cannot set aside the natural law. But what we always can do is help somebody with acceptance or more rest or feeling less angry or settling the emotions. And with absent healing, time and place are not important. You know, we can work with somebody who is next door, but we can also work with somebody who is on the other side of the earth. And the timing is also not important. We can tune in with our patient and make an appointment, but we can also not tell our patient that the absent healing will be done on Monday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and just later say, okay, by the way, the absent healing was today. So who can be the patients? Well, basically everyone and everything. It can be one person, it can be a group of persons, it can be animals, you can have nature, a tree, the oceans, but also a country or a district, or a group of people, like people who are affected by depression. So you can really be inventive and you can really think big. But again, the natural law is always something that works. And how to do it? Well, there are different methods for absent healing. You can sit with a book and list our names. You can use photos. You can use a letter from a patient. A general prayer can help. So there are many ways to sit for absent healing. One person, a group of persons, maybe two patients you know, patients you do not know. You can try and you can experiment. But the main thing is that you are comfortable with the way you work and that your attunement is well done. So there are several things that are challenging with absent healing. And this is what I like to address. First of all, with absent healing, it can be that there is not enough power, or that the attunement with the spirit world is not as it should be. And then probably it will be more a form of magnetic healing, or even just you wishing well for the patient. We need to know that the spirit world is there too. So if you are working without the spirit world, yeah, it isn't spiritualist healing anymore. The first thing that can happen is that you attune to your patient too soon. So you didn't build this field of energy as it should have been. The power isn't there. The power isn't as good as it should have been. Spirit world isn't well as close as they should be. And then when you attune too soon to your patient, it can be that it is more a magnetic form of healing. Another way that it can go wrong is that you are too much involved with your patient. You know, if you really love somebody, or if you are really wanting somebody to help, it can be that you are too much involved with yourself, and that you are not passive anymore. You need to be passive, you need to be not involved. For instance, if I have two daughters, if one of my daughters is ill, I probably would ask somebody else to be the healing medium because I am worried, I want to help, I want to fix. And then, yeah, it is not what it should be, so to say. Another thing is that you can become too sleepy because you don't see your patient, you are in your room, and some people lie down for absent healing. And when you are lying down for absent healing, or you're too tired, or you're not fit, then, well, it can be that you just fall asleep and then you are just having a comfortable rest, but it is not a form of healing mediumship. So the healing becomes too passive. And another way is that your absent healing becomes a routine, that you always do it the same. You just make your list, you sit and you just do it like a chore. And I ask and I wonder, how can it be a routine? Because for me, healing is always different. Every healing session is different. Your patient is different. The energies are different. You are different. And we are spending time with the divine energies. We're spending time with our spirit guides. So how can it be a routine? How can it be mundane? It should never be like that. If you really feel the healing energies, if you really feel the power that you work with, you should be thrilled and you should be fulfilled with joy, etc. So this is what I would like to say. Don't make it a routine. Other challenges is that you can lose the attunement with your patient. And if you lose your attunement with the patient, you are either sitting for self-healing or you're sitting in the power, which is really nice, but it is not your intention. So how do you know that you are still attuned with your patient? Well, you just feel the flow through you. If you don't feel the flow through you, if you don't feel your patient anymore, and if you feel you're just sitting in the power, then you are doing something wrong too. First problem that you can have is that you don't know your patient. If I get a name from the daughter of a niece of a neighbor, you know, the chain like you can have, and I just get the name Anita, I don't know Anita, and maybe I do not feel enough compassion, or I'm not linked too much with her. So you need to have some form of compassion, and you need to have some form of attunement with your patient. And if you don't know your patient, think about a way that you can attune to this person. It is important, even if you don't know your patient, that you are linked with them and that you have a way to attune with them. If you think there is not enough focus and there is not enough compassion to your patient, probably this is what will be happening. Another thing that can happen is that your list of patients is too long. And this is something that you really should experiment on. Can you work with a list of 10, 12 names, or do you prefer to sit with just one patient? I always like to say, experiment, see what works for you, see if it helps, and ask your patient later also, did it help? Do you feel something? Do you feel benefit of healing mediumship? So if you think the list is too long that you use for your patient, make it shorter or use just one. It can also be that the way that you attune to your patient should be changed. Maybe a book doesn't work, maybe you need a photo, maybe you need a letter. There are many ways to experiment and to feel, but if you think things must be changed, change it and experiment. The last thing, and this is more when you sit for absent healing, for maybe a clean ocean, you need to be really precise in your intention. If you sit for absent healing for a clean ocean, well, it is very fake. And it's also not addressing it's also not addressing the cause of the problem. And with healing mediumship, we always go to the cause of the problems, not to the symptoms. And probably the cause of the symptom of the cause of the ocean that is not clean are humans. So instead of the designating ocean, it's better to sit for people who are throwing plastic in the oceans. So think about your intention, think about being really precise, and think about what you really want to do. So again, don't go in a routine and don't be sleepy. If you are not fit to work, if you have had an argument, if you have a headache, if you have had a bad night, don't go sitting for absent healing. Do it another day when you are fit. And this is the fifth principle, that you know your responsibilities. So some tips and advices for the absent healing, for your routine, to make it better and to make sure that everything is set. First of all, you can try to sit in a circle, because when you sit in a circle, a group of people, you will feel that the energy is so powerful. You will feel that the energy is so strong, and blending together, and this is what we're going to do today also, creates a much greater portal for the energies to pass through. And it really gives such an amount of power and such an amount of energy. So try to find a group of people online or in a home circle or wherever to sit together, because one and one and one isn't three, but it is maybe 6 or 7 or 8. And remind yourself that if you are with a group of 4 people, everyone brings their team with maybe 5 or 6 or 7 spirit guides. So imagine how big the group becomes then. It's really marvelous. It's a lovely way. And then again, first build this sacred place, this sacred space, this field of energies. Really establish, first of all, the sacred space where the energies are in the bond with God, and blend with the spirit world. And if you feel that your attunement with the spirit world can be better, sit with spirit and ask them, how can I move forward? What can I do? How can I become a better healing medium? So build the energies and sit with the spirit world, sit with your companions and ask them what you can do. And also really very important for me is that you work with love, because it is your love, your compassion that is your potential as a healing medium. Without love, healing mediumship isn't possible anyway. And it is the spirit world that brings forward the love. It is the divine energies that bring forward the love, but it's also your love, your willingness to help and your willingness to be there, to sit there and to help others, to bring humanity forward and to give the best of the energies to the world. So your compassion is so important. And if you think this needs to be fixed or changed, find for yourself a way to activate this love inside yourself. Yes. The other way around is that if you are too much involved, like I explained on the other side, if you're too much involved, too much love, then it can be that you're working magnetically. So realize for yourself when you can still work, and if you really are involved and you want to fix and to help and to adjust yourself, and you're so much involved in the process of the patient, maybe you need to ask somebody else. So if there is a family member or somebody you really love, maybe you need to ask somebody else, because there's too much involvement there. So we're going to practice the technique that I call bringing in the patient in the exercises that we're going to do. And we're also going to practice an exercise that we're going to direct the healing energies to the source of the problem. So you can be really precise. This is what needs to be changed. Not looking at the symptoms, but really at the source, the cause of the problems. Not being too vague in your intention. Set a clear intention. Know what you need. Know the designated patient. Know what needs to be solved. So have a focus point and have a good intention. And you can also use a proxy. So now what you can see here, I have put here forward on the PowerPoint a letter written by Harry Edwards. And what he was doing is that he wrote letters to all his patients after the absent healing. Of course, there is also healing energy in this letter, and try to experiment with this way also. So you get an invitation by a patient, somebody who needs absent healing. You sit for absent healing, you do the attunement, etc., etc. And afterwards, you send this letter. And you ask the spirit world, when you are sitting for absent healing, that the energies are also sent by this letter. And this is an amazing way of working. You can also sit for children with a teddy bear. And in the old days, they used to sit with healing hankies also. So experiment. You can also use a flower or maybe a beautiful message card. I know the SNU has healing cards you can use. So try to experiment and see what works for you. And again, sit upright, your feet on the floor, not in a bed, not sleeping. There's a big difference between meditation, sleeping, and healing mediumship. Healing mediumship is when you are attuned to the spirit world, work with the divine energies, and are linked with your patient. And a meditation is when you are going within for relaxation or self-discovery or whatsoever. But meditation and healing mediumship are definitely not the same. When we work, we sit straight up, feet on the floor, and we do not lie down. So you will not be sleepy. And again, try to think for yourself if you need to start maybe to work with one patient. Just one name, one patient, and work with that. And if that works, try to experiment with 2 or 3, because maybe a long list of people doesn't work for you. Well, I know that on the SNUi Tuesdays, we always have a very long list with names, but we are a trained group of healing mediums, and we work for about 2 years now in this way. And the spirit world knows what we are doing. And the energies is really strong also. So there we have a very long list of people who are in need. But if you are sitting alone, working in your own power, try with one patient first if you are starting. So this was to conclude the PowerPoint. Give yourself time, don't compare, just try. And every time you sit for absent healing, you also have trained yourself, your spiritual muscle, trained your attunement, and you have done yourself a favor. You have worked for the spirit world, and you have worked also for your patients.